came on planet with, which is what you grew up with. And from your vernacular, this would be called third dimensional energy, second dimensional energy. Because of the consciousness and the dharma karma of your planet, you are also dealing with very high frequencies coming into you from the galactic plane, from your central star, the sun, injecting continued plasma electromagnetic energy onto your planet. So these are very real and discernible experiences that you are all having on planet. Now, for many, this is activating, yes, the crystalline DNA in the chromosomes. And those who have knowledge and understanding for this passage can understand that this can feel like disjointed. It can feel confusing, disorienting. It is absolutely bringing shifts in the time-space continuum, meaning that time is moving faster and even slower at other times. And this can be quite disorienting from that second, third dimensional perspective, yes? And because this is occurring in many cases with everyone on your planet, with or without their conscious understanding, this is also tying into some of the scatteredness, some of the anxiousness, some of the distractedness, some afflictions in the way of the physical harmony body, having issues with these different frequencies. It is interesting because you are also experiencing low frequencies from the orchestrators and those who have long inhabited this planet and sought to control you. This is true. While you are also dealing with this cosmic vibrational energy streaming in. So this is a very real experience, biologically, spiritually, psychically, psychologically, with these differing frequency patterns. We have heard some on your planet call them frequency wars. That's an interesting perspective, yes, but we would also like to add an addendum in that it is the awakening from these denser patterns that, yes, some are manufactured, others are just very much the quality of the Earth's vibrational fields herself. But she is too raising her consciousness, so you also have the stronger energy streaming up literally from the belly of the planet in which you occupy. And this is coming up from the crystalline core of your planet that is activating with this galactic energy and these different frequency vibratory waves moving through space and galactic energy. And this is activating. This began in earnest, we would say 3 to 4 years ago. And yes, we would even go back a decade, 15, 20 years ago, but this has increased and concentrated the past 4 to 5 years. So while you are feeling this, your subconscious, higher conscious is very well aware of what is occurring here. So our purpose today is to assist you in your conscious awareness, in the understanding that this is a very real vibrational shift, and it can be felt like having a very kind of blissful, joyful experience, and then right behind that, something that pulls you into the density, something that may be an old pattern or themes that you've been contending with in this life that are coming up again in almost a rapid and exaggerated form. This is part of the shifts occurring both galactically within the Earth herself, as she is both belching out and releasing her energy that can occur through volcanic activity, through earthquake activity. And because you are a part of her, you too Everyone on planet is experiencing this at some level, where things are faster and everything is happening in a quick succession. This is actually an increase of vibrational rate, you see, where time feels different. And that would be true, because time is not a constant. Space-time is not a constant. It moves and shifts and weaves and speeds up and slows down. And so within the human context, it is not uncommon to be feeling this stratum of feelings and emotions and experiences because of the interaction that is very real and occurring in the space and dimensions that you hold. So you are aware of this at some level. What we would say to you is, this is very real. There is much biological change occurring. We ask you, as we've shared with this channel before, we ask you to visualize, if you can, a granite core within you. Granite is both conductor and insulator of energy, is also filled with crystalline technology and consciousness. And as you visualize this granite as a pillar within you that can take in discordant frequencies, what we would call jagged and uneven, and to modulate them in your own biological system, your biosphere, your emotional body, and to visualize this energy coming in and you are absorbing as well as conducting, but also insulating, see? And because you are a species that is just on the precipice of learning how powerful your emotions are, and because the vibration on the planet is opening up this capability more strongly within you, from our viewpoint, it is helpful now to bring you information and different paradigms in which to visualize with your own intentions and emotions, because this is the realm of creativity in these higher frequency bases. The lower second, third will tell you this is silly or this is not real. And that is natural for the personality-based side who has grown up in this reality predominantly to judge and resist some of this. So do not be harsh with yourself. Do not be heavily judgmental with yourself. We would say that we are involved in lots of repetition in the teachings that we carry through this channel, because we understand that we are imbuing and entraining you into different realities that are very different from the majority of your human consciousness on the planet you are on. So we lovingly understand this modulation period of learning how to work with very real frequency patterns, both externally and internally, you see? But as you envision yourself as this pillar of granite, that empowers you to understand when the frequency is running that feels to you discordant, jarring, confusing, too fast, anxious. Those are your emotional, psychological indicators that there is something occurring psycho-spiritually, emotionally, yes, but also tied to even very real vibrational waves that are occurring and have been occurring. So you bring your mind to this column of granite within you. And when you are feeling especially those triggers, or that speeding up, or that distraction, or that scattered thinking, or that anxiety, you use your intention to learn to be a modulator within your own body and to work with the Granite technology that is available to you, tied also to the center of the very planet in which you occupy, but is also placed all around the planet, because Granite has long been used by the builder races, by the quote unquote aliens, but galactics that have long used this energy to modulate and to create frequency and energy. So we invite you now to invite this into your realm of skills and references to bring online in your own body, because you can truly draw from the very Granite-based systems within and on your planet, and imbue that and invite that into your physical memory complex, and use this as a skill. Because as you're engaging with this, this is empowering through the power of visualization and intention, the harmonizing of the frequency waves that you are interfacing with, you see. And you have the ability to do this. You have so much ability to do many things. And humanity is just awakening to this. So we are so grateful and lovingly bringing in some technology skills and approaches that can aid you in these shifting patterns. Some call them timelines, some call them portals. And what does that mean? That means that you are interfacing with different rates and vibration of energy. And depending on where you are in that scale or in that radio channel, it opens you up to different information, insights, and feelings. You see? So you can visualize this like a layered cake, or a layered, the Jello substance, the Jello molds that are used with different layers. You are literally moving through different layers of content, tastes, information, and rules that exist within those frequency bands. And you are skipping about them often several times a day, if not an hour for that matter, depending on your own vibrational sequencing and your own incarnational patterns. This is very real indeed. So this is the words we will call portals, we will call dimensional hopping, is where you are operating in a different set of frequencies and vibrations that are faster and bring in and are connected with different informational systems and patterns, you see. So you can see something up in the 6th dimension or 7th dimension and get an insight and a visual and a feeling and experience from that. And then you're coming back down perhaps to the 4th dimension, where you are also aware of all the patterns playing out on your planet. And this is where the frequency, the intentional frequency wars, if you will, but we would call it frequency challenges that are occurring in this 4th dimension, where there are operators on planet who have long been using their knowledge with frequency and esoteric principles to affect the people populating the planet. And the more negative galactics who are involved in this are interested in continuing the fear and the depression and the repression energy. And they do that from the field of intention and emotional programming. We would call this too predictive programming, that they feed so frequently to you through the media, through films, and through the frequency tones, even in the music that has been dictated to be created by those who are being handled by these very energies to work and use sound and lyric in a way that lowers consciousness and frequency. So that is a very real quality. There are also some tools, and some call them weapons, that they use to affect human consciousness. So you have that very real dynamic playing out But they would not be doubling down on this if they did not know and were not aware how powerful human consciousness and its own technology is. And that is a very real truism indeed. And why we, the Arcturians, and our supporters have been operating in this dimensional space for a good 20 years very strongly, knowing full well, as other galactic members do, that humanity is going to be moving through this very dynamic period of change and frequency adjustments and consciousness and opening in a manner that you have never experienced in this physical incarnation. Now, some of you have experienced this on planet Earth in former incarnations. And there are many on the planet, as we have discussed before. There's some of the builder races here, some who are operating out of karmic debt to bring balance to that which was out of balance, meaning that some of these races or galactic influencers have been going through their own spiritual growth and evolution. But we would even say experiential. Experience is everything that the soul seeks to engage with. And your soul is engaged in other alien lifetimes, in other life forms for that matter. So there are those beings here. There are those of us who are here who are really wanting to teach you about emotional love and the power of love and compassion and high self-regard that is also a very real frequency changer in your biological system that creates different realities because it is coming at you and you are connecting to it from a higher frequency set, you see. The fear and self-judgment and anger is very much the territory of these lower dimensions. That is just but one facet. It's multifaceted, though. There are very beautiful and flowing harmonic qualities to these dimensions as well. But the handlers on this planet are turning up the volume, if you will, on some of the more disharmony that they can create at will through their own consciousness and through some skills and technologies that they have. And then over here, we have this very highlight of frequency. There is much help by your galactic neighbors, and even in some cases, aspects of you that are vibrating in a different dimensional space, in different reality. You see, many channelers are actually channeling themselves in a different time-space continuum and in a different vibrational reality. Also, channelers, etc., are connecting with beings or energies that they have engaged with in other cycles. Perhaps it is not them that they're channeling, but they are connected with the beings of that time frame and in that experience, in that dimensional timeline. And that is being called in again to aid them in their own gifts and service on planet, as well as their own growth and consciousness, you see. So there's a lot of complexity to this and a lot of layers to this. But coming back to the granite, this is a touchstone for you. And we like this analogy because it is teaching you control and self-empowerment rather than feeling victimized or at the mercy of. You are not at the mercy of. People only think they are at the mercy of because they are buying into these lower frequency programs, you see. And that is the difference. This channel has long talked about the changing particle matrix that has been discussed over the past 2 years. And now you are really understanding what this channeled information is meaning, because we would say that this is very strong in your collective field right now. Yes, the changing particle matrix. The particles can't stand because, or hold firm, or keep the structure in place because of your place in the galactic field and the galactic center energy. It just can't. It is shifting it. And the people who have power and sway over this, of course, are inserting their own consciousness, their own egoic approaches to this. But it is coming on and will continue to come on for decades and centuries into your Earth future. See? So this is just really a strong precipice point that is occurring from the energetic vibrational space. And we would be happy to stay here with you and invite any of you who have any questions around this while we accompany this channel in answering any questions you may have. If you do, please bring up your mic and we are happy to respond. Okay. So working with the granite and seeing this energy, the minerals that reside within you and upon your planet as modulating, insulating. Now, when you can modulate jagged frequency coming in or the experience of that, when you are modulating it, it is soft and rounded. Soft and rounded. This will be understood years into the future as the physics on your planet are quite error prone indeed. And as more of the new physics, the plasma physics, the vibrational physics is coming on, you will understand this more thoroughly into the future timeline, into your future as well. But we want to reassure you, we know that of which we speak of. And as you modulate this, that you are softening the frequency flow and the emanation of that going out and emanating from your body. Why is that helpful? Because when it's softening and more rounded, that is aligning with more coherent energies, vibrations that you want to be conducting from your biomatrix, because that aids in that more harmonious creativity or manifestation pattern. You are also doing a service to those around you by helping to mitigate and modulate the more incoherent, jagged energy. So you are also being of service by simply working with this internal tool. Yes? So this will continue for some time, although we do feel the effects of this for those of you who are on this awakening path. You're going to get the hang of this more and more into the next few years into the future. It is a mind-bending game indeed, because we are talking about, and others are talking about, paradigms and realities and constructs that you may have never heard of before. And because we are quite interested in the technological aspects of human frequency mastery, which is also tied into your emotional generating systems. You may call that chakra system, your heart. That is a powerful matrix of creativity. And it operates differently than the cellular neuron forcing energy of the brain and the gut. The heart is a different matrix and a different codes, many levels of codes of information. So bypassing some of the mind and some of the ego, just working with the envisioning of the modulating the frequency sets around you. And especially when you are feeling disruptive or incoherent, sit and stabilize yourself and see that pillar arise within you, knowing that you are modulating and grounding and stabilizing the very real frequency and energy going on planet, but even at the time in your own personal space or in your own consciousness, you see. And so that is our teaching for today, but we assure you it is a powerful one. And to understand that the distraction or anxiety is not all yours. There is a tendency from the human mind to feel like they have ownership of everything in their reality. And of course, you have awakening powers with reality, but you are also interfacing with powerful forces that seek to create your reality and influence your reality, and that too is true. And this is not to frighten you by any means, because you are worthy opponents. You are worthy energy systems that just needs the encouragement and the confidence and the skill building to understand, first and foremost, what you are interfacing with, and to continue through repeated messaging and encouragement and great love, all of the abilities that are contained within you. You are lovely, you are wonderful, you are powerful beings, and we are grateful to be of service to you today. And so it